Hey, I'm going to show you guys how to change the wire in a MIG welder. So the first thing you want to do is with the gun. Well, actually, you want to make sure the machine's off, just in case. So you take the cap off, and then you're going to take some pliers, and here, come in close. So you're going to kind of want to twist it off if you can. Maybe you have to use your fingers. And then that should come off. You might even have to trim the end off a little bit. So you take the nozzle off. And so that part's done. Set the gun down nicely. And then you're going to open up the door to the MIG welder. And then here's the spool, the wire spool. So here's the wire right here. You're going to want to cut it and then make sure it doesn't run away from you, doesn't untangle. You're going to stick it through the hole and then through, so there's two holes on the spool. You're going to stick it through both the holes so it doesn't go anywhere. And then these two knobs right here, that's holding the spool in place. You're going to take it off. And this is pretty heavy, but if you didn't have any wire on here, then this is basically you'd be replacing the wire. Here's the spring. So this piece is off. This is the drive roll system. This is a knob, and this is actually what is tightening the wire. You take that off, and you don't really need to do anything with these with the drive rolls. But if you are going to replace wire, and if it's a different wire size, you may need a different wire drive roll. So then what you want to do with the gun is you're going to want to take the wire out, because you want new wire coming in. So you're just going to, and you can even just use your hands if you want to, if it's pretty clean inside the welding gun. So then this basically is garbage, so you can throw that away. So now you got basically everything taken apart, and then if you're going to get a new set of wire spool, you're just going to put this back on. But first, we're going to put the spring on, and then you're going to put the spool on, like that. And then you're going to put this on. And you actually have to push these two in to get it in. And then you're going to take the wire out of the holes. And then you see here where the drive roll is at, you're going to stick it through the hole, and then make sure there's a little tiny spring. You want to make sure that gets through there. So once the wire's through, you're just going to kind of make sure it's through the drive roll system, and then you're going to want to turn on the machine. And you don't need the gas. You don't need the gas on, because otherwise you'll just be wasting gas when you do this. But now you're gonna pull the trigger, and it should. Oh, first you got to put these in, so it tightens it down, and then the wire will go through. So now you're gonna feed the wire through the gun, and once it kind of sticks out, and it looks like it's a pretty good enough. It looks like it's a pretty good speed, I would say. And if you can stop it, then it's probably good. So you'll just wait for the wire to come all the way through the gun. So once the wire's through, you kind of want like a 3-inch stick out maybe. And kind of just to test it, you could stick it here, and if it does like a loop and goes up, then you're pretty much set. And so it basically did a loop. And then you can cut off the excess wire. Make sure it's tightened, and if you think if it does that, then it's pretty good if it did the loop. And now you're going to want to stick this back on, and you can have a little bit of wire sticking out. And then you're going to screw on the tube, and then put the nozzle back on. And then, so you put the nozzle back on, and then you're pretty much set, and you're ready to weld.